Without trust, people cannot invest. And the fact that most of the people in our communities have not been investing in these areas is not because they are stupid. It's not because they are not willing to progress. I think it is because they've not had access to this information. Story warriors and story weavers, pull your chairs closer and learn from this pioneer, from this trailblazer who has gone from almost zero to managing $40 million in assets under one single corporation. How she's done it, I have no idea, but I am very pleased to welcome into the Story Warrior podcast studio, the virtual studio for that matter, Madame Bibi Ofiri. Madame Ofiri, good afternoon. Welcome. Where are you joining us from today?
Thank you so much, and Dr. Gideon. Like you said, my name is Bibi Ofuri. I am joining you from Dallas, Texas.
Oh, Dallas, man. Dallas is really in the news lately. And I'm fortunate that it is in Dallas that we first met. But
Yeah.
it appears when you first came to America, you were definitely not in Dallas. And when I came to America, I did not live in Dallas. So where did you live before you founded Blue Ocean Cash Flow multi-family business? Where did you live? Where did you arrive America? Some people arrive through different cities, Maryland, you name it, Atlanta, Georgia. For me, I arrived through Orlando, Florida. Tell us.
I came to California because my parents have been in California for, as at that time, 30 years before I
Mm,
came. So it was just for me to just come and meet them and continue. So yeah.
I'm a little jealous. You came in, your parents were already here. Probably they paved the road for you. They
Oh,
made it beautiful. They laid out all the framework. I got in here. When I got into Orlando, I didn't know nobody, not from our community. I knew a gentleman who was interested in hiring me. And it took me quite a while to even know someone from Africa. But you came in, your parents were already here. That sounds amazing. So, did they give you everything on the silver platter?
oh. So let me correct that notion. No, my dad was already late before I came. He had already died. So
Oh,
it was just
no.
my mom, and
I
it was
see.
not a soft landing. In short, it would have been better if I came just like you without knowing anybody. In quotes, yes, because I came in, I dived into a lot of challenges based on
Mm,
the fact of so many things, which I will go into if you want me to. Yeah, so
wow.
it was not a soft landing. So.
Okay. Okay. Now I may have to rethink what I consider to be a smooth landing. So from what you're saying, it wasn't so much a smooth landing. OMG, I am sorry to hear that. And when you said your parents, I thought maybe your dad, your mom, but you're saying when you arrived, he was of late. So that's really, really different circumstances
Right.
because now you're probably coming in with your mom, maybe siblings. Um, hmm, I don't know. Is it too early to ask?
No, let's go
So
ahead.
how did it go when you came in? Your mom was in LA or California.
Mhm.
How did you work things up the ladder from there to where you are today?
Okay, I'll first of all start with my background. I had a property management company from because I'm originally from Nigeria. Uh,
Mm,
so because I needed better healthcare system, you know what we do? We come abroad, we give back, we go back, we continue our life.
yes.
So that was what I came for. I came for better health care for my
Mm,
delivery and go back. But I met the shocker of my life, and that was what turned my life 360. So coming
mm,
down here was supposed to be a 3 weeks trip because I
mhm.
had about 120 employees in Nigeria and
Hmm,
about 10 permanent staff. So I had
mhm.
my business going on, especially in Lagos. For those of you that are not familiar with Nigeria, Lagos is where things happen. So I
Yes.
was there and I was in the island area of it and I had a lot of
Mm,
customers. So it was just right for me to go back and continue doing what I was doing. But really, I think God had other plans. Not I think God had other plans. I came here with a different notion, but things just changed. So coming
Ouch.
to the US was I came down, and for some reason I noticed there was always a phone call coming in my mom's house. But I
Mhm.
asked, I said, "What's going on?" She said that the lenders are calling. I was like, I don't understand. Explain to me. And I was almost due to deliver my child. So it was not something I wanted to deal with at that time because I was almost due and I just don't want to go through a lot of stress. But given what was going on, I just had to listen and I got to find out that the house was about going into foreclosure.
Mm.
So one day she was in her room and I was in the living room and the bell rang and I went to open it with my big tummy and I saw a sheriff for the first time. And the sheriff handed me a letter. I didn't understand that when there's a foreclosure, it's a sheriff that will come and give you the letter and all that.
Mm.
So I took the letter and I opened it. I was like, you guys have 30 days. This house will be foreclosed in 30 days. You have 30 days to leave. It's key for cash or cash for key. That is, if you decide to leave in 30 days without them evicting you, they will give you like $5,000 and
Mhm.
in exchange for the key of the house.
Hmm.
So I told my mom, and my mom was fell into depression then and then. So I was dealing with a depressed mom because
Mhm.
she was no longer in line with what was happening. So she fell into depression right then and then. I
Mm.
was almost due for my for my delivery.
Delivery, yeah.
Foreclosure, we had to pack up. A house
Hmm.
that stayed from so many years. Imagine the kind of things we
Yeah.
had to pack out and all that. So
Unbelievable.
2 weeks after I received the letter, labor came. I was thinking, okay, I will just deliver my baby, come back, continue packing up and all that. Try and see what I can do. Maybe rent a place for her and go back. That was the story. But when I went for delivery, I was faced with another challenge. My daughter she had 50-50 chances of leaving. So instead of me going on with the baby was in ICU. She went through full term. So it was not a premature. That was not
Yeah.
the case. It was a respiratory, was breathing to with her lungs 2%, and the rest
Wow.
was supported by oxygen. And the what they call the doctors came to me and said I should just start praying that they don't know. They have to take her to a special hospital. So she was there for months. So I was shuttling because the distance from that special hospital where they had her and my house was about 15 minutes. So I was shuttling there every day, packing my mom's things and all that. That was not even the most challenging part. The most challenging part was where do we go to from here? So we decided to move into a church, no insulation, no AC. The place where we were, there was no AC, no bathroom. There was a toilet, but no
Hmm.
bathroom. It was just, we had to go to, what do you call it, Home Depot, went to buy big bowl to be taking
Mhm.
our hours into it. Remember, they gave us 5,000.
Mhm.
We said, okay, we're going to call a contractor. We're going to have a contractor do some renovation somehow that would allow us stay in. That was a terrible time. Contractor did not finish on time. So we're just homeless. That was it.
Jesus.
We were homeless. I had to look for jobs to do. I picked up like 3 jobs: security job in the morning, security job in the afternoon. No, I was just looking for
That's
how to
unbelievable.
sustain the family because my mom was not in that right mind to even do anything. And
Mhm.
I had a baby in the hospital and all this was still going on. And that was how I just kept pushing. Then after 1 year of that entire trial, I was still homeless. I said I needed to go to school. That
Mhm.
maybe that will help me change the trajectory of my life. And
Mhm.
at that point, I forgot my goal. My goal was I was always a business person, starting
Mhm.
my business and all that. But that was not even on the table at that time. It was survival. I needed to survive. So I said
Yes.
maybe schooling will help. So I I decided to do more work, more jobs, so that I can gain more because I needed to pay for my
Mhm.
school.
Mhm.
I did information in cybersecurity and all that, thinking that IT, 6-figure money with time I will be gaining that and everything will be fine.
Mhm.
But while I was doing it, I was all A's. I had first class and everything. I was doing very well. 6 months towards the end of the the time I felt unfulfilled, and I said, I'm, "Do I really think I want to do this?" And so that was where my mind was at that point. Then a friend of mine
Mhm.
reached out and said, we're just having a conversation. And said he wanted to go pick up his W-2 from his former employer. I said, let me tag along with you. What do they do there? And he said, they do security. It's a security company. I said, okay, fine. I need more jobs so that I can
Mhm.
for my schooling and my family and all that. I said, okay, come along, tag along. And we went along, and fortunately for us, we noticed there was no secretary, and that was strange for that kind of company. And we saw that the owner of the company was the one that welcomed us. So I had to ask, sorry, your front desk is empty. Is there anybody? So that thing taught me a lesson that just be prepared. Preparation that meets opportunity. Once that happens, that is for you. So I was prepared, and opportunity came, and I spoke out. I didn't keep my mouth shut. I said, "You don't have a secretary." What happened? He said the secretary resigned just a day before. I said, "Okay, this is an opening for me." I told him why I was there. I came to look for a security job, but now that you don't have a secretary, I think my qualification fits better for a secretary than a security person. And he said, "Oh, really?" So he interviewed me, and he was like, "Oh, I'm pleased. How soon can you start?" I said, "Yesterday." He said, "No, no, 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 don't worry. Just go home, come by so time. I'll ask my HR to call you, and you guys can finalize the same thing. But resume here tomorrow." And that was how it started.
Oh my God. In the
Yes.
meantime, what happened to your business back in Lagos? I mean, Lagos is a big city. If you're not on top of things, you may lose it. What happened to your business back home? You
Yeah, so
mentioned you have almost 120 employees.
so I had a business partner, and unfortunately for us, the business partner knew I was not coming back, and he took the company away from me. And
Mm,
so I lost it. But that was good because I would have been distracted. I would have been running boats, and I would not have
mhm,
concentrated on God's purpose for me here. So I
mm,
think that was a good thing. At that time, that was I was in pain because I'd invested a lot of time, money, effort.
mhm,
In short, it was blood, money, and sweat that
mhm.
somebody just took from me. And this was the one thing I told him. I said, "You can take everything from me, but you cannot take me because I can rebuild
Reinvent yourself. Yeah.
myself in another
Wow.
place." So, and here we are.
That is a brutal, brutal start.
Yeah, that was.
And for anyone that just joined, this is the Story Warrior podcast. We invite unsung heroes with untold stories to share their journey from zero to hero. And now your company manages Blue Ocean Cash Flow, manages well over $40 million in assets in the multi-family sector. Tell us, at what point did it dawn on you, you know what? I wasn't born to be a secretary for someone. I've been the boss. I've run companies. Why am I working here as a secretary or doing cyber security? As somebody asked me in Singapore, why are you screwing around with pathetic computers when you could be out there doing something bigger? And I thought, man, that's pretty profound. So, at what point did it dawn on you? I'm done screwing around with pathetic keyboards and entering data and so on. I should go out and create magic for the whole world to see.
Yeah, so let me just clarify. It's not 40 million, it's above 100 million at this point because I've
Oh,
closed some
see?
deals. Yes, so, so let me just
Maybe I'm still using some old data from the website, but now it's over 100 million in assets. Thank you so much. And kudos because you make 100 million sound like it's easy to get. I want to give a big blast of my Vuvuzela to you because it's not every day that it's not every day that we meet someone that is running that kind of portfolio. So, but man, please take us to that place when to dawn on you. Yes, I've helped this guy build his own dream. Just like I built one with my blood, sweat, and tears back home, gave it away. Now it's time for me to create my own thing with my own hands. How far in did it take after the severe uh, disruption of packing out of your parents' home with your mom, going to live in a church, and having a baby that was born and had some medical challenges? How many years after that did you start the founding of Blue
yeah.
Ocean?
So the thing is, there's no way I can talk without putting. I don't want to sound too spiritual, but there's no way I can
Mhm.
say anything without putting God at the center. Because I will say to you that everything was planned by Him, and I was just following suit. Because I remember that I was not comfortable. You just have to be, no matter where you are, you don't have to be comfortable. Because there's still more
Mhm.
to achieve.
Mhm.
So at that point when I was in and doing my cybersecurity thing and all that, I just felt this void that there's more that I can give. And besides, I know my strength. So the ability for you to recognize where you're good at can
Mhm.
also help
Mhm.
you identify your purpose. So
Yes, ma'am.
because I knew my strength, that I was better off as this than this. And the only thing I knew that I didn't have was the money or the support. And
Mhm.
and when I realized that I could actually have had the support around me, but is it possible that I'm not seeing it? So let me explain what I meant by that statement. So
Mhm.
when I decided to pick up the secretary job, at that point, I was privy to a lot of documentation, money passing here and there. I noticed there was a
Mhm.
lot of cash flow from
Mhm.
from my boss, my then boss, and I had
Mhm.
just I said I went back, I took a deep breath, I said, I'm going to ask him anything he wants to do after that. If he wants to fire me, but I'm just going to take my thoughts and I'll move on from there. So I said, sir, please, I want to speak with you. And he was like, what's the problem? I said, you have about 10 minutes for me. And he said, yeah. So we had a sit down talk. And I said, I just want to know your 5 year plan. And he looked at me, look at my secretary asking me, that
Yeah.
was the expression I saw on his face. And
How old were you at that time, if you don't mind?
I was in my 30s at that
Okay.
time. Yeah. So I asked him, I said, how old are you for I mean, what's your 5 year plan? And he looked at me and I knew that look. The look was, what the hell?
A
That's
bit condescending.
very condescending. I said, no, no,
Yeah.
no, just get me. I explained to him that I see a lot of money passing through this company, good money, you work hard and all that. But I want to know if there's a plan that you intend to do in some years' time. And he gave me his plan, and for me, I thought it was shallow. And I said, have you ever tried real estate? That was what I did in back in my country. I was managing
Mhm.
properties, and I was saying that one day I'll own mine. But I know
Mhm.
that just by managing it, we're making money. Not to talk of owning it, then you make more. That in the US, I know US has a better system than where I'm coming from, and I believe that this place will be better out for you. And it was like, okay, that he tried it, but he was duped. I know so many people have tried going into real estate and they've had issues with fraudulent people
Mhm.
losing their money and all that. So that was his fear. And I
Mhm.
had to address that elephant in the room. And I said,
Yes.
yes, there's something I had to now, because one, you have to have integrity, you have to have a track record, you have to, I said,
Yes.
I'm not asking you to give me your money. I'm asking you to partner with me,
Mm.
partner together, bring
Mhm.
the money, let me do the job. That's all
Mm.
him. And he was like, okay, give me some time. I'll go and learn. So I told
Hmm.
him, I said, give me some time to go and equip myself on how they run things in the US.
Mm.
But once I'm done, I'll get back to you. So he was like, okay, no problem. But the way he said it was a way to just discharge me. He wanted
Let you go, yeah.
exactly. So I went off and I went to learn. I didn't have money really because I was still struggling. So I just started doing a lot of YouTubes. I did a lot of YouTubes and all that. So I was learning just particularly fix and flip and vacation rental. I didn't know anything about
Mm.
it. No clue, no idea that that even existed. All my mind was that it was just the rich people that do multifamily. So that was a no-go area for people
Hmm.
like us. So I stuck to my own lane. I said, okay, fix and flip. We can take a dilapidated house, fix it, and flip it. That was it.
Mhm.
So what I did was I went to learn. I came back and he said no, he wasn't interested in moving forward. I was like, what? And that was 8 months after.
Ouch. After you've been spending time on YouTube and you mastered a lot. And for anyone who is watching, before you even go to the next segment, I've taken time to look up properties in Lagos. And boy, was I blown away.
Yeah.
There are quality, high quality, as expensive as here, if not more expensive than here.
More sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, I would argue that they're even more. And I have a friend who is a realtor in England, and he does business in Nigeria, precisely in Lagos, on the island. He tells me the quality of the homes he has there is far better than some of the quality of the homes he has in London. And he sells only for high end customers. And he's told me many times before that he can spend about a week or two on the island in Lagos, and he would transact more business than he does in England with very, very high end uh, personalities, VIPs from Africa. And I say that too, just as an aside for anyone that is thinking, okay, if you were running real estate back home, how transferable is that experience? I want to argue, I want to say without even knowing that I'm pretty sure it is very transferable because you are seen about the same quality, about the same class, and about the same kind of flow of cash. Correct me if I'm wrong, and then you can go to the second phase about
I
what the
was
disappointment. How did you feel about that disappointment?
no, I think I needed to relearn.
Mhm,
But I always tell people no knowledge is lost. So when I mean no knowledge is lost, the part of setting up a business, running a business, that knowledge was very helpful for me to do that
mhm,
here. So if I didn't have that knowledge, I would have been not just learning the business of real estate. I would have been learning to equip myself, how to use some programs to do
mhm,
things, property management programs. I'd have been learning from scratch, but I didn't need to
mhm,
do that because I already had an experience from that in the past. So
mhm,
yes, I would say some ideas are transferable, but some ideas here are way better than the ideas we
mhm.
have at home. So what I
Okay.
did was to unlearn those ones and
Mhm.
relearn
Really.
and brought in some of the qualities I felt were useful. I brought them,
Mm.
added up, and that was how everything worked for me.
Wow. So he let you go, or did you continue working for him after
Oh,
eight
I
months?
was disappointed, but God again, God did this. So he was slammed with about $1 million taxes, and he was just overwhelmed. And he reached out to me and said, um, "Will real estate help me reduce my taxes and give me some bonus depreciation and all?" I said, "Yes, it can, but I'm not a CPA, but I can connect with one and we can." So he was like, "Yes." So we spoke to a CPA and we were like, "Yes, that is possible with some conditions though." And we were like, "Yeah, sure, we can do that." So that was what even made him come
Mm.
on board. So he
Mhm.
came on board and gave me little money, and we started with fix and flip. We did two fix and flip and two vacation renters together. So the first
How much did he invest at the start? Given that you were not putting in money, but you were putting
funded
in your time.
everything. It was full. It was all cash. We didn't source for money from the bank. It
About how
was
much?
hmm, that first transaction was more than $1 million that we spent.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
so we spent on different properties,
Mhm.
two properties for vacation rental and two for fix and flip. For the fix
Mhm.
and flip, we recovered about 100,000 on one, so
Mhm.
times two, we got about. So
Mm.
when you saw that and you saw the vacation rental, we got about 100 and something thousand um for 8 months for
Mhm.
that year. So it was 8 months because we started out in March. The operation started in April. So between April to December, we made about 100 and something on just those two vacation rentals. And it was like, oh, this is not bad though. This is more. So
Probably better than what he was doing.
exactly. So we decided to go full blown into it. Then, with the limited knowledge we had, we're doing more of single family. So we accrued about 50 of it. Some we flipped, some we're using as vacation renter, and some we're renting long lease. And for some reason, one of my agents came and said, "I have a 5 unit multifamily in PA. I would like to sell. Would you like to see it?" I said, "No problem." We all flew down. I saw it. It was well kept. Everything was good. I said, I like it. Five people, five different incomes, five different. So I did the maths in my head. I was like,
Mhm.
this is better than just having
Mhm.
one single family. Once I lose
Exactly.
one tenant,
Yep.
I've lost my entire cash flow and all that. So that was how I went there. Unfortunately, no, I'll call it fortunately from today. Fortunately for me, that deal did not pan out. But what that did it to me was it just expanded my mind.
A
And I was
scope.
like,
Yeah.
oh, there are many opportunities here. So that's when
Mm.
we started looking in at multifamily. So that was the bet of the multifamily journey.
Mm.
So the broker she introduced us, she's an agent, but she also was partnering with another agent. The broker guy reached out to us. 2 months after we did pull out that deal, and he said, "Are you guys still interested in doing multifamily?" We said yes. Said, "Okay, I have 120 units. Are you ready?" We said, "Okay, yeah, send us the numbers." We crunched in our numbers, it looked good, and we flew down, we saw it. We said, "Okay." So the day we were closing, the owner of the next property just beside it said, "Sorry, are you the new buyer? Are you the new owners of this property?" We said, "Yes." I was like, "I own this one. Would you like to buy it as well?" We said, "Okay, yes, we would like to do it." So we went,
All of that is in Pennsylvania. Is that right?
that
PA?
was that was in Pennsylvania. So
Wow.
bought that one. We matched them because they were just side by side. So we matched
So
them.
cash flow was not an issue.
No,
Initial cash was not an issue. So
no. The
you
property.
obviously had someone with deep pockets.
Yes, no. Initial equity was not an issue at all
Mhm,
because we could raise it from my partner and all
mhm,
that.
mhm,
The good thing about the property was that the rents were $300, 400, and the market was at 900. So that
mm.
was a massive
Cash
opportunity for us.
inflow. Yeah,
So
influx.
we it was a good deal. We bought the deal, the both of them, and we started running it. So the first year, 2 year, we're like, this is good. Let's keep going. So we start. That's how we now went fully into multifamily, and we
Pivoted.
yes, and we noticed that that was even way better than doing the fix and flip and the vacation rental. For the
Mm,
for the fix and flip, yes, it was giving us that chunk of money, but we're paying Uncle Sam
mhm.
for that. So multifamily was just an avenue for us to write those things off.
That is really interesting. So that our viewers can better appreciate how far back did you start, especially when you went from flipping to multifamily.
From flipping to everything, let me say 6 to 7 years now. Yeah, so
And from what you're saying, your firm now manages more than 100 million.
oh
So
yes,
that means you have quadrupled, more than tenfold
modern.
what you started with. That's absolutely amazing. That is unbelievable. Is it because you had experience back home in this industry? Is it because of the kind of food that your mom cooked for you, you ate when you were in LA? Is it because you have the Nigerian DNA? What accounts for that? Maybe give us two or three factors that make it so unique. Is it because of the BB Ofiri touch? Give us three factors that have enabled you to go from 0 to 100 million.
Like I said, I will not stop emphasizing on the God factor on it.
Just
So
so it's a God factor. Okay. All right. Cool.
God
I
factor
may
because
not.
God is what I call grace, you know.
Mhm.
It's something you don't deserve, but you just got it on a platter of gold. So for me to
Mhm.
have met my partner at that time, that was
Mhm.
grace at its fullest, you know. So those,
Amazing.
my friend, why did my friend call me to say he wanted to pick his W-2? What kind of conversation were we having? You know, so those things were God uh,
Mhm.
ordained for me to be in that room at that time, you know.
Mhm.
So I would call it different, a mix of different things. The God factor,
Mhm.
preparation from my side because I was also prepared to take advantage of any opportunity, and I
Mhm.
also say I was also really ready to learn, and I was ready to open up my mind to opportunities. And the last factor was that I was ready to partner with people. So I've
Mhm.
seen cases whereby people just want to do things on their own and don't want to partner with people. This business, what I've learned so far, that this business is a lot more about partnership. They say one can chase 1,000, but two will chase 10,000. That is what it is. The more you partner with the right set of people, the more you
Mhm.
can achieve it. So I can say for a fact that these things would have been possible if I didn't have the right partners on board
Mhm.
to that level.
Amazing. So I got four factors there. The G factor, God's grace, preparation, ready to learn, and ready to partner. Those are four factors, very powerful factors that I believe our viewers can benefit from. Is it the same partner that we were fortunate and privileged enough to meet you with when you presented in Dallas?
Of course, yes, it's the same. So there's something about me. I don't throw the ladder once I've climbed up. Yes, so with what I have now, I can sustain on my own, but really, I crave partnership, good ones,
Yes,
and
yes.
anyone that has helped me from the beginning. when
Yeah.
it's good, I don't let you go. We'll still be in it together. As long as you are
Yes.
ready to still be in that same partnership with me, yes, then we'll keep going.
All right. We're gonna give a big blast there for kudos to loyalty.
Yes.
Yes, because a world without loyalty, a world in which people cannot trust others, is a broken world. And
Exactly.
so, one of the things we do on this channel, this podcast, is promote the values that we believe would uplift our people. Sometimes I believe, having lived, spent almost 10 years in Asia and Singapore, and I realized they really trust each other.
Mm,
They trust each other.
yeah.
But when I got back to US here, I noticed that some of our people don't really trust each other.
No.
And that means nobody is growing. Like you said, two people can obviously carry more than
One person.
one person. And I recall another analogy. One horse that's drawing a carriage can only carry maybe, I think it's like 12,000 tons. But if you combine two, they can pull more than twice the weight, more than twice the weight. So it begs the question, what's happening there? It must be because of that factor, which is when we're together, two bangles make a better jingle. One bangle, you can rock it all day long, no noise, no jingle at all. But two bangles produce melody that you can't believe. So that is really, really kudos to you and to your partner. So as it stands now, who are some of your primary investors? Who are the people that are coming in and investing? Because it looks like it's no
Mhm.
longer just a two-man show.
No.
You have evolved from there. So who are the people that are coming in and injecting fresh cash, and you're now expanding the vision to serve more people?
Yes, so our we have so many investors from different aspects of life. Mostly are professionals like doctors, IT people, professionals
Mhm,
like you. Those are the
mhm,
people that always invest with us, and not just that.
mhm,
People that are not professionals that
mhm,
they want something more from their life,
mhm,
and maybe from their IRA they get to convert it, or from their
mhm,
401k. People
mhm,
that have this kind of money set out there for something, their retirement account, those are
mhm,
some of the people that we invest in. So the idea
mhm,
for us is not just to give those that have the opportunity or have the ability to raise money. So because I'm
mhm.
putting myself in their shoe, I started this business with zero. It's not
Yes.
less than zero. It was zero, like Z. I mean, it's not more than zero. It's not 0.1. It was 0.000 to infinity.
Ouch.
There
You're
was
being you're being brutally honest with yourself.
exactly. There was nothing to it. So my main purpose is also to reach out to those ones that don't really have it, but they're looking at doing some
Mm,
form of investment and all
yes.
that. So if they reach out to us, we can tailor some things to them and tell them how to prepare to be part of
Mm,
this and all
wow.
that. It's an opportunity for everyone. That's what I want people to know, and we can do it. So professionals and people that feel that they can't achieve anything in their life,
Yes.
these are people that we invest with.
Okay, fantastic. And what kind of properties are you more involved with now? I know when we say multifamily, there are so many types.
Yeah.
From the
So
little that I know, maybe when we hear from you, the pro, we're gonna discover even more. What type of investment properties are you looking at?
So we started, like I said, we started with 20 units.
Mhm,
But later with our experience, we found out that it's the same effort used for 20 units that used for 500 units. In short, with 500 units, you stress less. But with
mhm.
20 units, you stress more. So yeah, the question is, why do I want something small when I'm still using the same energy to achieve something big? So that was where
Mm,
the point was for us. And we said, we'll no longer do smaller units, 20, 30 units. We'll be doing 100 and above. So all our
mhm,
units are 100, 200. Right now, we are looking at a 400 and something units and all
mhm,
that. So the idea is the same thing. It's just for you to repeat. You don't reinvent the wheel. It's what you did
mhm,
for the 100 units, you still repeat
mhm.
it in a 400 units,
Exactly.
all that. So, and the thing about the bigger one, it gives you the opportunity to use less of your money and use other people's money
Mm,
to grow.
yes.
So the more I have a bigger unit, the more I'm able to use less of my money, and all of us can close on it.
Okay, but the question I would still like to know is, are they mostly residential?
Oh,
Are
they are
they recreational? Are they, what are the various, what's the span of the type of properties that you investing? Are
yes. So
they?
So there are
multi.
different, yeah, there are different parts of those property. They call them commercial, but we are in the residential part. So
Okay.
when I say commercial, we have residential multifamily, we have
Mhm.
storage, we have our
Okay.
RV park, we have
Mhm.
industrial, we have land. Some people do land.
Mhm.
So they're just different retail. Some people do retail on office
Mhm.
and all that. So, but we are strictly into residential, and that is the reason of the need of the country.
Okay.
The demand for housing cannot be overemphasized. People will
Mhm.
always want to live somewhere and all that. And looking at the interest rate and the market where we are right now, more people are unlikely to afford buying their homes because the mortgage is so high. So more people will go into
Renting.
renter and all that.
Mhm.
So it's an opportunity that we are taking advantage of. And regardless of whether the interest rate goes low and go down, people always look for a place to stay. And remember, not all hands are equal. For the fact
Absolutely.
you can afford a house does not mean the next neighbor will be able to afford a house. So yes,
Exactly.
the residential multifamily space.
Okay. That is very interesting. And one thing that I wanted to ask is, let's say a young investor who is, let's say, in IT space came to you and said, "Ma'am, I don't necessarily want to be part of a large investment with over 100 units. Can you help me find a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex, a fiveplex? I don't know."
Mhm.
Uh,
That's it.
and then they put some of their money that they earned during the pandemic there. Would you be able to help them find a duplex, triplex, fourplex, fiveplex, that kind of thing?
Okay, so this is the first question I'll ask them. I did a webinar 2 days ago and I was talking about your 12-year plan. And
Mhm.
the point is the moment you are able to understand your goal, then you can work your way backwards. So my
Yes.
question to them would be, why do you want to triplets? What do you want from it? And all that. And maybe they tell me,
Maybe they have a little bit more control.
yes, okay, they tell me they want control and they want more equity. And I'll be like,
Exactly. More equity and then return on investment. Because if you're part of a hundred units and your return on investment is smaller, you'll not be very satisfied. So maybe they have a higher risk appetite.
exactly. So if they tell me that this is the other scenario I'll put to them, I'll say, you're an IT person. You don't have access to time like someone like me will have because I do this full time.
Mhm.
Would you be awake or able to fix the toilet in the midnight or an HVAC breakage in the midnight? Would you have that time
Mhm.
to do those kind of things? And they
Mhm.
say no. And I say, okay, fine. That means time is one of your problem.
Mhm.
Correct. So if time is one of your problem, that means you have to give your time in exchange for somebody else's time. And the thing is, for me, I would not like to. The job of a property manager is not a easy job, and it's something I don't want to keep doing. That's why I
Mhm.
went into investing rather than managing those properties. So
Mhm.
now, what I would also tell the person is there are better ways for you to. You need control. You need that. The control here is that you have access to your time. If time is your is the what you want to achieve and money, then why don't we focus on you having more time for yourself
Mhm.
and family? And for money, this one, the returns on this versus this. Remember, a vacancy in this will really affect you on a triplex than an 100 unit. 100
Mhm.
unit, I can have about 15 vacant rooms and it will not break the bank. But for a triplex, if I have two people leave, then I might not be able to pay my mortgage. So those are
Mhm.
the scenarios I'm going to give. Do you want to have those kind of challenges
Mhm.
versus this type of challenges and all
Mhm.
that? What in exchange for what you want. So for me, it's going to be the question here is what are your goals? What exactly is
Okay.
priority to you? And
Yeah.
what is not priority to you? And with that, we can work our way back. And definitely, I've had this conversation with many people, and they get to see the bigger picture and just go the other way of, okay, I'm not going to
Okay.
do my plus. And the reason why I can speak to this was for someone like me that has managed 50 single family. I
Mhm.
think I know what I'm saying about handling that versus handling just one property with
Mhm.
100 units versus 50 properties scattered everywhere in the country.
Mm. Okay, very interesting. What if they make the argument of return on investment? Let's say they come to you and say, "Okay, ma'am, I got 50K, 100K.
Mhm.
that could make a good down payment for 2 or 3 duplexes, um, as compared to investing that 100K in a large multi-family commercial.
Okay,
In
so
terms of returns of investment, maybe in returns on investment, maybe you can paint a picture there, because I see many people caught in the middle who are like, okay, which way do I go? Do I have a little piece by myself, or do I spread it out and just be one small fish? Or I think the question is, should I be a big fish in a small ocean, or should I be a small fish in a massive ocean?
okay, let me give you a scenario of what happened to us. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so we bought a single family because single family and 4 units are all in the same category.
Mm.
I know that they call them all of them single family. So when I'm saying single family, I'm talking about 1 to 4 units.
Mhm.
For 5 units, you can start calling that multifamily. So
Mhm.
yeah, so triplex, duplex fall under that category. So we bought a property for 1.2 million, and that was a single property, and the down payment for that was 25%. That was about almost 300,000. On if with closing costs, we went over
Yeah.
300,000.
Single family. Yeah.
Family. So
Mhm.
that is for that. We
Mm.
had a tenant. We're collecting the rent there was 5,600, no 5,800, and our mortgage was 5,400. So if without any expenses, that means we were going with a profit of 400.
Mhm.
Imagine I remember we changed an HVAC house and we spent about almost 7,000 to change the HVAC. 7,000, do the math. I'm only profiting 400.
Mhm.
I will not break even until maybe two plus years
Yeah.
and all that. That is if there's no other expenses.
Yeah.
So these are the things people are not taking cognizance of. Your expenses. How much is it? Your taxes, your insurance, how much is it? Can your tenant, if 1 or 2 tenants leave, because it's about your tenant paying your
Mhm.
expenses.
Mhm. Yeah.
If 1 or 2 leave, are you going to be able to keep paying your bills? That's the question. But for
Yeah.
multifamily, let me give you how that is different.
Yeah.
Instead of me putting down a 300,000 on just one property, I will put 50,000 or 100,000 or even 25,000 on
Hmm.
100 unit property. And let me tell you what
Okay.
that will do to you. If it's a 7%, let's say the multifamily gives you a 7% annually, you know that you're not going to be taking care of toilets, you're not going to be changing HVAC, regardless of vacancies and all that, you have your 7%, right? So
Mhm.
that 7% you get it for 1 year. And that is just on the side. That is
Mhm.
just money and all that. Is I would call it almost guarantee, although it has its own risk,
Yeah.
compared to a single family that I will collect my 400, but if any expenses come, it's gone.
You
But this
shoulder
is
it.
the
Yeah.
profit. What
Yeah.
I'm talking to you is the profit because every other expenses has been taken care of from the income. So before
Mhm.
you can give out a 7%, that means you must have taken care of all your operating expenses,
Expenses. Yeah.
which are the utility, your
Mhm.
taxes, your insurance, your repair
Repairs.
management, and
Repairs.
repair and maintenance, turnover,
Mhm.
you've done that. And you've paid even your mortgage. And another thing about multifamily is that we always have a reserve. We call it capex reserve. So from
Mhm.
the beginning, before we even purchase any property, we have made an estimated budget for capex.
For running. Okay.
Yes, things to and even running costs. We have that money set out somewhere. So we will not be dipping into the income of the property. So those are part of the
Mhm.
acquisition of buying a multifamily property. So we will not be touching our rent to be
Mhm.
paying to be replacing our roof or our
Mhm.
HVAC because we raised that money from the beginning. So look at the difference. That is one. The second difference is that instead of me putting down a 300,000 on just one property, I will can take that 300,000 and invest it in 6 properties and get 7% or 8 or 9 or 10, depending on the property, or 6 or 5% times 6. So let's say, for
Mhm.
example, you took 50,000 invested in one, another 50,000 in another one. You are getting 7% on each of them. Let's say, for
Mhm.
example, 2 of them did not work well. Maybe operations, they didn't manage those properties well, and you're only
Mhm.
making 4. The returns you will get there, do the maths. 400,000 from just one single family, or a 7% from or 50,000, which is about 7% of it is about 3,500. So
Mhm.
3,500 a year versus 400. That
Mhm.
look at the difference. That's about 3,100 difference in income. No, I mean, I say 400, 400 times 12. Okay, fine.
Mm.
So 400 times 12. But remember that 400 that you're getting from single family, you're also going to use it for repairs. Anything that comes up, you're going to use it. But
Yes.
ours is strictly cash flow, profit.
Mm.
You're going to
Mhm.
pay for repairs.
No headaches. No headaches.
No idea. Let me even make it easy for you. For multifamily, we do something called cost segregation, which can be done for single family. But but single family, most people don't take advantage of that. But for multifamily, we take advantage of that. What that is, we accelerate some part of the property and take depreciate it all in 1 year. So there's a law, a policy on ground that helps us to do that. We can take that kind of heavy chunk of profit, and in exchange of paying taxes to the government, you use that in replacement of it. That is, instead of me paying the government, maybe the government will slam me with $50,000 for my taxes. Instead of
Mhm.
me paying $50,000 for taxes, I can take that K1 that I got from that property and write it off. So there are a lot of benefits.
Mm.
And remember, appreciation for a multifamily. Imagine me buying a property for 10 million. Multifamily is based on performance, how I'm
Mhm.
able to operate it, that is increasing my income,
Yeah.
reducing my expenses. But single family, regardless of what I do to that property, is based on comparables. That means
Mm.
what my neighbors are selling their property is what my property will be worth. But
Mhm.
multi-family is not based on what my neighbor is selling. It's based on
Mm.
how I perform that
Mm.
property.
Regardless of the location.
Yeah, location matters. Let's not forget that it
Mm.
matters, but it's just easier for you when you buy a property in a good location. It's easier for you, just like even in single family. When you buy a
Mhm.
property in a good place in single family, location is very important for both classes. I will
Mhm.
underestimate the importance of location. But what my the spotlight I am putting in this is that what multifamily does is it gives you control. You can control how the property performs to a large extent, although there are some other factors, but I can control it and improve the value of it. So imagine
Mm.
a property of 10 million, I can control it and make the property become 20 million in 4 years.
Mhm.
Imagine for a 1.5 million in 5 years, that property might be worth maybe 2.1 million and all that. This one is worth 10 million and more and all that. I remember I put in just 50,000. But this one I'm putting in 300,000. So just do the math yourself.
Very interesting. Now, but what about the equity? Who
Yes,
owns the equity in multifamily?
everyone that puts in money and
Okay.
manages its own equities.
So if at future date, it has to be sold, then whatever accrues in terms of equity will be shared amongst all the contributors or the
That's
investors.
correct. So
Okay.
the thing about multifamily is that you can raise money through something called syndication.
Mhm.
So you get investors like people like you and I to bring in
Mhm.
their money, and they are owners of the property. So you own it
Mhm.
like a share, like you
Mhm.
having a pizza and
Mhm.
pizza. Yeah, I just want to make it as
Mhm.
simple for
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
who
yeah,
wants
yeah.
to understand. You have a big pizza, but you don't want to use your money. Let's say pizza
Yep.
is worth $15. You don't
Yeah.
want to spend your money. You gather the $15 from
And
everybody.
share a piece with everyone.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
It means that you all own that pizza.
Fair enough.
Now, all of you take like a slice. Each person
Mhm.
has a slice. And
Mm.
all that. That is how it is here. So
Mm.
we're all buying it and we all own different sizes of slice. So the more you put, instead of you putting $1, maybe you put in $5, you own a bigger slice. That's how it is.
And the people that are eating the smaller size of the pizza be like, man, mine is so small. I'm still hungry. I need to eat more. Then they
Then you
need to top
invest
up
more,
their money. And in
double
the
your
next
money.
investment, they can have a bigger piece so that they can satisfy their
Exactly.
yeah, hungry stomach. Okay, very interesting. Now, tell us, where do you see blue ocean cash flow in the next, say, uh, 3 to 5 years?
Yes, I want, because right now we are about 1,000 units plus. We
Mhm.
want to see ourselves about 5,000 units, and that is in line with our goal. We want to become like completely financially free, completely, and all that, and that will give us that opportunity to do that. Then we also want to bring in a lot. We are doing education, like what you're doing. We
Mhm.
have platforms that we educate people as well. We want to
Mhm.
expand more in it,
Mhm.
just some more education because of how I started. I just want people to know, especially people in the minority community.
Communities,
I want
yes.
you to understand that it's possible. You can
Yeah,
achieve your dreams. So
amazing.
educational is very important to me and to us. So that is
Yes.
going to take a lead at that.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Maybe we can partner with you because we believe in education profoundly, profoundly. And my doctorate is in education. Even though I look at the school system, I said to myself, I'm not going to teach young
Yeah.
people. I want to teach adults. I want to be able to bring what I know to people that can use this to make magic happen. So we can talk about that offline and look at are there some areas where we can collaborate in getting programs closer to people, explaining it in a way, just like you've explained here today, in a way that someone who is not from that field, they can understand it. They can say, I get this. Like when you explain it, I get this. I appreciate this. And I'm sure that people from other fields that have nothing to do, whether they're nursing, that are IT, they can understand the logic of what you're presenting here, down to earth, broken down in such a way that you can see, yes, that makes sense. And that because without trust, people cannot invest. And
Yeah.
the fact that most of the people in our communities have not been investing in these areas is not because they are stupid. It's not because they are not willing to progress. I think it is because they've not had access to this information. They've not had access. So if you are going to be both a firm that is growing at the pace that you're talking about and growing quickly, education, I can understand why you want to make it a centerpiece. So, which are the communities that you have been reaching into? And you mentioned you are from a country that is very highly respected in terms of being industrial, in terms of being hardworking, Nigeria. Which other communities are you reaching into that are also latching on and saying, you know what, count us in? We see that makes sense. We want to come and learn and grow.
It's generally the minority community. So it's the Hispanic, the African, the Black American
Mhm.
community. But there's been a lot of barrier. Truth be
Mhm.
told, it's been very difficult for us.
Mhm.
The communities that we've really attracted are the Caucasians and the
Mhm.
Asians
I
community.
see.
And that is very weird, right? Those
Fair
are the
enough.
people that are reaching out to us more
Fair
than
enough.
even the
Yeah.
minority community, and that is sad
Yeah.
because those ones are really expanding and getting richer with the informations that they're getting, whereas our community are just there
A little
looking
skeptical.
and very skeptical and holding off and saying, I will do it, and they will never do it. And I'm hoping that this platform will help reach out to so many of them and tell them that it is possible. You just need to take the bold step. There's nothing that is not risky. But now
Yes.
you need to evaluate the risk. Is it
Mhm.
worth it? Can I
Yes.
can I do with it and still be alive? Is it going to
Yes.
break me or mold me or make me better and all
Yes.
that? So yeah, so our community, I wish we can embrace it more.
Okay. Now I hear you, and I think some of the communities that I have been part of, they warm up slowly, but when they eventually understand this, they come on board. They are unstoppable.
Mm,
I've seen a few other fields in which some of our people have gone in and have taken over,
mhm.
but they didn't start. It wasn't overnight. It took a while, a lot of education, a lot of outreach, and then it got to a tipping point and then exploded. Now I see they're taking over some industries. So, by way of reaching out, what kinds of community organizations are you reaching out to? And more so, if they want to find out more information about you, where can they go? So, first, maybe outreach, and then how can they find out information about you?
Yeah, so I'm reaching out to right now. I'm concentrating really on the Nigerian community because I think they are the most difficult as it is. Yes,
Well, some people may argue that they're probably the most versatile.
yeah, they're very difficult to it's for some factor
Mhm,
the light control. So
mhm,
that's
mhm.
the thing. So, but
Oh, control, yeah, yeah. Fair enough, fair enough,
it's,
fair enough.
it's
Yeah.
a big
Mhm.
deal for them. So I'm reaching out to Nigerian community. I'm also reaching out to anyone and everyone that is ready to take
Mhm.
their life to the next level. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell your audience what I'll be doing in few
Oh,
weeks.
absolutely. Please do that. We
Yes.
welcome that on our show. We want to bring the facts closer to the people. We don't want to hide. There's nothing to obfuscate. We want to bring the facts closer to people so that the people can take advantage of it. We see ourselves as a marketplace. People should come and transact through here. We're
Okay.
not. We don't. There's no curtain between us and the people.
Okay, good. So on the 7th and 8th of February, we're going to do a 2 days boot camp. And the reason for that is intentional. We planned it out. We've been planning this since last year. And it's for people that are in the single family space or have never invested before or they have little or no knowledge. It's just they can call it multi-family jumpstart. It's just for you
Mm,
to start your journey and start because it's possible. So we bring in different experts. So you're not just be hearing from me, be hearing from people that have done way better than I have done.
mm,
You're hearing from them, and it's going to
mhm,
be a 2 days
mm,
starting. And not just that, I'll be giving two people an opportunity to partner with me on my next deal, regardless of
mm.
whether you have the money or not. If you win it, you will join me. It's a promise
Amazing.
I'm making to anyone that is
Amazing.
able to fit the criteria. Then the
Amazing.
second one is I'll also be giving two people the opportunity to be a fly in the wall. What that means is that the best way for you to learn is the best way for you to swim is putting your leg in,
Yeah.
diving in, right? So we're going to get people to observe what goes in
Mhm.
behind the scene. You're
Yes.
to know all what how we underwrite, how we interpret numbers,
Mhm.
how we do our due diligence, how we interact with our lenders, contractors, and all that, and also
Mhm.
how we manage those properties. So you're going to be with us, sitting there and
Mhm.
just observe and learn. That's the
Mm.
easiest and fastest way because I can tell you from now to tomorrow, do it like this, do it like this. But if I'm not giving you, I'm not giving you a real life scenario, there's no way you can learn.
Yes.
These are the
Yes.
things that we're giving out to people, and these things are intentional. I've not seen any event that's giving that. And I'm doing it personally because of how I started. I want to
Mhm.
make sure that people with zero, like me, can get
Mhm.
to something in few years.
Amazing.
All that, yeah. So if you are looking for how to attend it, I don't know how I can post it, but you can look for me on BB Ofiri on Instagram. If you look for me at BB Ofiri, you see the flyer. The flyer is out there, and you just see the link and you click on it. It's going to also be on my bio, so you
I
can
saw it on your website,
exactly.
and I was gonna sign up, but I've already committed the week of February 8th, 7th. In fact, from the 5th all the way till the 9th. But otherwise, how can they find this information if they cannot see Bibi Ofiri on, which is your name here on screen, on Instagram? What's the website? Because I saw it boldly
Yes,
on the website.
yeah. The website is blueoceancf.com. The
Blue
CF means
Ocean
cash
CF.
flow. Yes, it's
Yes,
cash
I
flow.
was gonna clarify. Blue Ocean CF.
Yes,
If you want some cash flow, you
yes,
want some dollars that can fly. All
exactly.
right, go to Blue Ocean CF because
Oceancf.com. Yeah.
okay. The other thing I probably should just check in here is if there's a young person who's watching, maybe they're still in school and they're like scratching their heads, like, man, I can't wait till I get out there. Someone who is very, very young but very ambitious. Um, what kind of opportunities you have for people in high school and college? What could they do with you? Maybe they become interns, maybe they become a typist in your front office, but what can they do as young investors? Do you have anything to take care of
Yeah.
that? Because we believe that we are only as good as we pass on this knowledge to
Sustainable.
our next generation. And I know probably the challenge you faced in LA was because the knowledge about financial systems, about how real estate systems work, was not sufficiently passed down. So, is there any program for that?
Yeah, so this is I'm already doing it for my kids. I actively involve them in what I'm doing. So for people that the young community that are in school are looking for how to start this journey, the first
Mhm,
thing is education. So you need to start getting involved in, in the education.
mhm,
What the education will do for you to expose you to the different opportunities and you know your strength. So if you're good at underwriting, you can now start equipping yourself to start underwriting and getting deals. That is a strength. And if you're good at managing, you can learn how
mhm,
to manage your property from that time.
mhm,
And all that, not just manage asset management. You can sit in
mhm,
all these meetings because the more you sit in, in those meetings, the more you're learning. They don't teach us financial things in school. So
Yes,
these
indeed.
are ways you'll be learning the terms, you'll be understanding them, and you can now start channeling your life
Mm.
to purpose. Because I wish I had an addition, I could go back to some few years again of my life. I would say, okay, I wouldn't have done this, I should have done this, you know.
Mm.
But now that you are very young, we have a 17-year-old that jumps on our calls. There's a platform I also talk on. The guy is 17. He started when he was 15.
Mm.
Now, no, now he's 18. So he's been on it for 3 years and all that. And the
Mm.
guy is good. Is just learning and doing what he needs to do. So this is a time for you to educate yourself. At least that is what you should start with, education, at least
Mhm.
for some time before you can go in. Because one, you don't have money, right? You don't really have
Mhm.
money. So, but when you have the education and when you start making money, you know how to channel it and start taking advantage of it.
Mhm. That's amazing. All right. So, any of the young observers, please, if you want to pay more attention, you want to learn more, be the fly on the wall, or maybe go on Windows tickets, go to blueoceancf.com. Now, ma'am, we come to a very interesting part, which is a very short question, a very short answer.
Hope I can
And
answer it.
some of these can be a little bit like rapid fire. So if I came to you and say, ma'am, I want to be one quarter as good as you, I want to be one tenth as good as you when I grow up, what book do you recommend for me to read? What would be a number one book to recommend?
Reach that, poor dad. Anytime.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, this is like the third time
Robert
this
King.
has come. It has come up on this program. So thank you so much. Is there any second?
That one is one. Then, because I'm into multifamily, I would say you should read The Fundamentals of Multifamily by Rockcliffe.
Okay, Fundamentals of Multifamily by what's the name again?
Rockcliffe.
What
Rock.
Cliff? Okay. Okay, the second one is what are some of the values or the principles that you live by that have made you very successful?
My values is love God.
Love
Number
God,
one, yes. Then my second value is integrity and accountability.
integrity, and
That's
accountability.
very, very important. So those are the values I live by.
Okay.
Um, to have a because if you love God, that will you will not want to do the wrong thing. Then the
Mhm.
second one is transparent. I mean accountability.
Accountability. Yes.
Yes, I think I lost you for a bit. The second
Yes.
one is accountability, integrity.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Second, the next one is what's your favorite color?
I have I have migrated from this color to this color to this color. Right now, my best color is white. Right now,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
not.
migrated from blue to red, slight orange.
No,
And for whatever reason, I wore something bluish today. So I usually have never worn this for a million years, but it was
mine was from orange to purple, purple to yellow, yellow to black, black now I'm in white. So yeah.
wow. I used to be a blue all go, but now I don't want to see blue anymore. I'm more of orange now and what they call maroon or some people burgundy. Yes, that's my
Organic,
favorite color now. Yeah.
organic.
So if let's say you are attending an event, an international event, mega event, they're serving Japanese food on one side, they're serving some African food. You have Ghanaian jollof, you have Nigerian jollof, you have Cameroonian jollof. Which of these would you guess? Would you want to take? Please make sure you get the right answer.
Yes, I'll tell you why I'm choosing Nigerian jollof is because I have issues with trying something new, especially when I'm not sure of it. So because I'm used to Nigerian jollof, I'll go with Nigerian jollof.
All right, you failed that one.
I'll go with Nigerian
Okay. All
jollof.
right. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to BS here right now. It doesn't matter what you like to eat. Eat
Yeah.
what you like because I think that Cameroon Jollof ranks very high, but this
Really?
conversation is probably
No,
this
it's
debate has
Nigerian
never
jollof. We can have this debate for 10 years or 100.
it's never been resolved. So I'll just leave
That's
it there. So here's the last one. You walk into a big boardroom to present to some future investors. There are four chairs in front of you. You're the first into the room. No other attendees coming. The first chair is sitting in a triangle. First chair sitting or standing in a triangle. The second chair is standing on top of a squiggly, that's twisted, squiggly. The third chair is standing within a circle, and the fourth chair is standing within a square. I'll take it over again. There are four chairs in a room. You're free to choose anyone
Mhm.
before the other investors come in. First one, the first chair is standing within a triangle. Second one standing within a squiggly. The third one within a circle. The fourth one within a square. Which of these chairs would you be more inclined and comfortable to sit on?
Is there a middle part of it?
Oh no, there's no middle part this time around.
No middle part.
Yeah. These chairs are immovable. You cannot move one of them. Which one will make you comfortable to sit?
Um, I don't know if this is right, but based on
No.
what you're saying, I'll choose a triangle one, and because it'll give me a broader view. That's what I think I would do.
Okay. All right. Cool. Here's a little bit about this comes from what they call psychogeometrics.
Oh,
The
please.
people that choose a triangle path, and this is probably on the Story Warrior podcast, you're the first to have chosen that. Most other people have chosen others. They like to have a position like the CEO. And thankfully, you're the CEO of your company. They like to do it now.
Hmm.
They don't want to postpone it.
The
They like,
triangle, right?
yes, the triangle. They like to take charge.
Oh, yes, that is
They
me.
like to they like to take charge. They like to do it now. They like to be CEO. And the only downside is that sometimes they may like to be controlling too.
Oh,
So
yes, you got it. Everything is correct. I think I picked the right one. Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
so no wonder you're the CEO of the company. We want to thank you so much, madam, for making the time, coming to share your knowledge, your wisdom with us. We count ourselves very privileged. And if anyone has forgotten, remember the four qualities that Madame Ofiri has outlined that will get you from zero to hero in less than 6 years. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope to catch up again with you offline and continue this conversation.
No
This has
problem.
been one phenomenal episode of the Story Warrior podcast. Thank you so much, Madam.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed my conversation.